Hello children, welcome back. So today we are going to end up the 10th unit with the last poem which we have got in 9th class language and literature of English. So the poem is A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal. A Slumber Did My Spirit Seal, which is written by the great William Wordsworth. So please make a note of it in your running notes and also please take out your textbooks. So as soon as you look at the poem and the length of it, you feel that maybe it's a very simple poem which has got hardly around 8 lines in it. So 8 lines are divided into 2 stanzas. So whenever you see a stanza having 4 lines in it, usually you call it as quatrain. Quarter is 1/4, right? So quatrain is nothing but 4 lines. So this poem what William Wordsworth has written, In a Slumber Did My Spirit Sail, you will come across 2 quatrains, 4 lines and again 4 lines, together 8 lines. And then Wordsworth, when you read about him, you will come across an interesting information that he has written a few poems called Lucy poems. Whereas we will need to understand that Lucy used to be one of his beloved persons. So on his name, like on her name, like on his own imagination, based on his own imagination, he made many of the poems written, which are very popularly called as Lucy poems. So even this is one such kind of poem where he hadn't mentioned the name anywhere, but we can definitely assume that yes, even this also belongs to the same category of Lucy poems. There is no evidence as proof, but yes, we can make our assumption because even it also speaks something about his beloved lady. Whereas he had described many times in his Lucy poems about the beloved one, whereas he has named even the beloved one as Lucy. The only thing he did not do here is he did not mention the name as Lucy here. So this poem is a bit, intensified to your level of age, I personally feel. But one has to know about the philosophy of death. So here William Wordsworth in his poem is saying something about his beloved one's death. Usually the human nature is, when he or she comes across the death of the beloved one, they would not get digested easily the tragedy, because it seems to be so unbelievable for them. They can't just believe the loss. So sometimes, they will be so shocked and they keep thinking that the one who is no more is still alive. So that particular state is called illusion, because they don't want to accept the truth and the fact that one is lost forever. But sometimes, being in a deep grief, they cannot accept the truth that they have already lost somebody forever who can't be brought back any time. So as they cannot digest this particular truth, then they keep thinking, being in illusion, that the one is still alive. So that is what even Wordsworth also has expressed in first quatrain. In first quatrain, the first 4 lines of the poem, he says that he really did not even imagine that one day he would be losing his beloved one, because he has taken the nature so granted and he was so loving his beloved one, thinking, taking it granted that she would never die. He had taken just granted. He just made up his mind that he need not really need to face this kind of situation any time, that where he would see that she is no more. And he was in such kind of an illusion always, and he has taken without thinking about the future. But in the second quatrain, when you see, he keeps telling us about his realization. Then he tells about his realization that Yeah, now I realize that my beloved one is no more. Then how did he realize and what made him to realize? That we shall come across in the second quatrain. So this is all about the philosophy of life and death again. So like how did the poet feel when he had to realize that his beloved one is no more? So this is what is the main theme of the poem. So let's complete in one module, children. We need not really like carry on for another schedule today. So we shall just conclude. So I believe all of you are ready with your textbooks and also your running notes, children. So a slumber did my spirit seal. So before I just start explaining, you should know about the title as well. Slumber means, what do you mean by slumber, children? Slumber is nothing but sleep. Slumber means sleep. And you all know the word spirit. Spirit is nothing but soul. And as I keep telling you that most of the poems are English poems. Most of the English poems are based on the biblical philosophy. They quote many of the quotations from Bible, and their philosophy, their beliefs, their principles, they all belong to the Bible only. So even here also, like usually, they will have All Souls Day also, they will observe on particular day, right? Where they feel that all the people who passed away, their souls will definitely visit to bless the survivors. That is their belief, right? So here spirit means the soul. Spirit means soul. And what is sealing? Here we can say that sealing is finalizing something or drifting. Finalizing, you can just make as finalizing. So asleep did my soul finalize. Means as he was sleeping, sleeping does mean that as he was in the illusion, in the particular period of illusion, thinking something differently, not accepting the truth. In that particular condition, his soul evoke him to realize the fact. That is what this title is stating very clearly. The whole theme of the poem is given in this title. I believe all of you are very clear with the title, children. Slumber means sleep, spirit means soul, and seal is nothing but to finalize something, to conclude. So this poem is about the death of a loved one, as I said. How does the poet feel when he thinks about her death? So the beloved one is a lady. As I said, it could only be Lucy. How does he imagine her to be after death? Then what was his imagination about her after the death? What would she take the form of, or how would she look like? And what is she going to be after the death? Like what are all his imaginations? We shall see in this poem. So as I said, it's only a 8 lines poem, that is 2 quatrains. And if at all you observe the rhyming scheme, children, here, that is AB, AB and CD, CD. Please check, it is in the same manner, AB, AB and CD, CD. Okay. So first of all, I shall just read the poem once for you all, children. Please look at your textbook. A slumber did my spirit seal. I had no human fears. She seemed the thing that could not feel the touch of earthly ears. No motion has she now, no force. She neither hears nor sees. Rolled round in earth's diurnal course, with rocks and stones and trees. First, let's go with the first quatrain. So, slumber did my spirit seal. The first line is nothing but again the same title. Whereas in his deep sleep, as he was in illusion that she is still alive, then all of a sudden his soul evoke him to realize the fact that she is no more. Then he says that why was he in that illusion? He's giving the reason. He's reasoning out for his being illusion, in the illusion condition. I had no human fears, because he was thinking that he had no human fears of losing somebody, because he had taken the nature granted. He had taken the supernatural power, you can call him as a god or whatever. He had taken the god granted, thinking that he would never take his beloved lady parting from him. She seemed to think that could not feel. Then he was thinking that his beloved lady would never be taken away from him, because she could not feel. In the sense, she would never go being parted from him, because she is somebody who is very much associated with the poet. Then he was taken, granted about even the God as well, that is nature as well, thinking that she would never be parted from him. She's always with him, because nobody would notice that she is a separate person. So he was just imagining and describing that those two are two bodies with one soul, kind of a association they had. So he says that I had no human fears. She seemed to think that could not feel, so she would never die. So that was his illusion. The touch of earthly years. So aging is something which matters when it comes to the dead children. Like you all know the philosophy that one day one has to die. So when does that one day comes, nobody knows. Am I right, children? But everybody has to end up their life one day. But that truth, though it sounds to be so bitter and rude or whatever the way you think, but it is the fact. So that's what he is unable to accept. He says that the touch of earthly years she could not feel. So though she grew so old also, she will never be dying. That is what was his illusion. He was thinking that though my beloved lady, though she grew so old also, she would never die. Though she becomes so old, very old, she would not die. So that is what was his blind belief and blind illusion, blind thinking. So this is what has been explained in the first quatrain, where he felt that she would never die. Though she grows so old also, though she becomes so old, she would not die. Then the second quatrain, as I said, he would realize now. Then he says, no motion has she now, no force. Then he realized, by looking at the dead body, he says that no motion. Motion means the movement. No motion, no movement in the body. No force. Force here means, children, no work can be done by the person, because she is no more. So of course there is no movement in the body, and even no work can be done by the same person who is dead. She neither hears nor sees. Then now he realized that the one who is died, who is no more, can hear or see. So she cannot hear, she cannot even see, because she is no more, she is dead. Rolled round in earth's diurnal course. Diurnal, please underline the word, children. Diurnal is nothing but daytime, you can call it as a during daytime, or else you can take it as a rotation period of the earth on its own axis. It takes 24 hours, am I right? So diurnal course, it does mean that. Then he realized that there is no motion in the body, and she cannot even work, she can't see, she can't hear, and moreover she is immersed completely in the earth, because according to the Christian philosophy and the principle and the biblical tradition, once the person dies, they would be buried. Once their dead body is kept in a coffin box, it gets buried in the earth, thinking that like in all the natural elements we call them, so the dead body also would be mixed, completely immersed with all those 5 physical and natural elements. So that's what he says, that now she is no more, and I understood and I realized that she is completely immersed in nature. That is rolled with the earth, and even she is rotating along with the earth in its own axis, because she is now part of the earth, with rocks, stones and trees. So he's just thinking like fossils, you might have heard about it, children, right? Fossils. Even the animals, the different creatures, or the human bodies also, when they are no more, and no particular cremation takes care of something, then they would become the fossils, as you all know, fossils, rocks and all. But that's what he says, that now as his beloved one is no more, even she also would have been taken the form of rocks and stones and trees along, to make the rotation along with the earth on its own axis. It means to say that she is no more and she is immersed in the natural elements, like in the earth as she is buried in. So this is what he has explained in the second quatrain. I can understand, children, this is too high for you all to understand. But yes, this is the philosophy and we all know it. So this is only his feeling, that is Wordsworth's feeling, William Wordsworth's feeling about his beloved one. But it applies to every human being, because people, when they lose their own beloved ones, they cannot really believe immediately. They cannot believe. They keep thinking that no, something must be wrong. They may wake up, they may talk, they may act upon. Instantly they cannot believe. So it takes some time to really get the tragedy digested. So in the case of William Wordsworth, as she was so beloved to him, he had taken the nature granted that he would not be parted by letting her beloved one die one day. That he was unable to get digested. And here, in the second quatrain, he realized that yes, there is no movement in the body. She is unable to do any of the works, and she is unable to hear, she is unable to even see anything, and now she is rolled in the earth. This is, she is buried. By letting her sleep in the coffin box, she is buried and she is now immersed completely, like how the trees and stones and rocks are. So this is what is his grief about losing one of his beloved ones. So let's check out the questions also, children. First one, a slumber did my spirit seal, says the poet, that is a deep sleep closed of his soul or mind. How does the poet react to his loved one's death? Does he feel bitter grief or does he feel a great peace? So this is absolutely an opinionated question. So you can either way answer. You can definitely answer that yes, it was a bitter grief of losing somebody, or else you can say that a great peace. For example, children, I just give you, if at all you see a person having many medical ailments and was like unable to bear the pain or the discomfort caused with that ailment, would like to end up the life, and if at all he or she passes away, usually people around say that now he has got some right justice because he was unable to tolerate the pain and the discomfort. Fine, it's better that he left the world. Usually this is what is commented by his beloved ones also, because beloved ones, they can't see somebody being in discomfort for a long time and due to that ailment, right? So that way also it is possible that Wordsworth might have felt. So you cannot deny that nobody would feel it's a great peace when somebody passes away. Yes, children, are you all understanding? So this is a clear opinionated question. Either ways, any of the answers is absolutely welcome. But when it comes to the opinionated questions, children, how strongly you will support your answer with the right reason is very important, which matters and which gives you definite mark there. So you will need to reason it out very strongly. So that you please write it. And second one, the passing of time will no longer after her, says the poet. Which lines of the poem say this? The passing of time will no longer affect her. What is the word which is being used? Because they have used the touch of earthly years. They used the word. So please go ahead with that and try to understand and expand your answer. How does the poet imagine her to be after death? What was his imagination about her after death? What sort of forms he was imagining about? Does he think of her as a person living in a very happy state in the heaven? Did he mention that she is in heaven? Or does he see her now as a part of nature? Or is he thinking that she would become a part of nature? In which lines of the poem do you find your answer? Though they have given you two different statements here, children, to maybe to only confuse you, but this is not an opinionated question at all. This is completely based on the content given. So I clearly said that he had understood, he had realized that now she has become a part of the earth. Did I say that? So earth is nothing but the nature. So of course the second statement only would be the right answer here. So he sees her now as a part of nature. That would be your starting sentence of your answer. Then you reason it out why and what. In which lines the poem do you find your answer? Of course the last 2 lines of the poem. And to be continued, they have just given one of the poems to read, like how when I was teaching you about the other day about the snake also. No? Similarly, they have given another poem which is written by another great poet, that is William Shakespeare. So they just have given it, and William Shakespeare's all the writings would be in a very ancient English, so you will come across many different words and all, but definitely you would enjoy and you will love to read as well. So please go ahead with the reading, and by today we have completed all the 10 units as I said. So 10 poems and 10 lessons, right children? And then we have got to do only one more, that is 11th part, that is nothing but a drama. It's a drama, it's a play which is called If I Were You, written by Douglas James. So how to proceed in video class and all, let me plan and let me just explain to let you all understand better. So as I'm serving you the worksheets children, please do attempt all the questions. Any queries, please leave your comments in the comment box so that I can answer you all. So see you all in the next session children with the play If I Were You. Goodbye.